Hey there, this will be the last daily upload. Tier list time! This time we're taking a look at Half-Life 1 chapters, S to D. Yeah, let's go through them. I gotta be honest, my last pure Half-Life 1 playthrough, so not Black Mesa or just segmented runs, is a pretty long time ago. So I'm pretty sure I know all of the chapters and what happens in them, but I might not have the perfect memory of each of them, especially the later ones. Black Mesa Inbound, obviously every chapter is goated. Well, almost every single one, but I gotta be a bit more critical, obviously. Black Mesa Inbound, as an intro, it's obviously an S, but gameplay-wise, it's kind of D because you don't do anything, which is why I'll put it in A, because it's like such a classic intro. And also the fact that it's the first time we are in a train setting in Half-Life. Yeah, the perfect intro that gets referenced later on, and you have to have played it at some point. Questionable Ethics. Yeah, that's a chapter where you have to bring the scientists to the door later on. Yeah, okay. Not my favorite. I kind of dread playing this each time I'm there. Though I really like the overall setting of it. Like how everything looks and stuff. So I think it's gonna be a B tier, a strong B tier though. Surface Tension is classic. I like the dam. Is it A? I think it's A. Surface Tension is nice. Forget About Freeman is also nice. I'm kind of confusing it with the Black Mesa version right now. What happens in the usual? Oh yeah, true. It's also, there's like I can't really do that great commentary because I'm not that sure what happens in it. But I like Forget About Freeman. Do you launch the rocket in this chapter? Oh god, I'm not too sure. Or is it on a rail? Forget About Freeman is a bit later. I'm gonna put it in strong B tier. Lambda Core, also not my favorite. It's the same chapter where you, I know what happens, but I'm not sure what happens in what chapter. Is it the one where you have to enable like the 3 thingies in the huge Lambda Core and you have to swim through the tunnels and stuff? Because if that's in this chapter, fuck that chapter. I hate it. That's like my least favorite part of the game, even before like Interloper and stuff. If Lambda Core is that, it's a D tier. Just in terms of this list, it's still good, but yeah, Zen. The Zen chapter itself is really short, right? It's only like a bit of teleporting and stuff. Yeah, it's gonna be top of D tier. It's not that special. I can appreciate the fact that this environment was made in 1998, I think it was. So yeah, fine. Alright for back then. For today's standards, nah. Also like the whole platforming bit where you have to jump over the small platforms. Nah. That ain't good. Gonarch's Lair. Of everything Zen, the Gonarch fight is, I think, my favorite still. Outside of maybe the Nihilanth. Actually, I don't really like the Nihilanth fight. Well, it's alright, but okay, Gonarch's Lair. I think it's C tier, maybe even bottom of B. I'm gonna put the top of C for now. Interloper, it's a pretty rough one. It's gonna be below Zen. Nihilanth. It's fine. It's a good boss fight. It's a good way to end the game. I think the end credits count to this as well. Behind Gonarch's Lair though. Because the first time I played Half-Life 1, I had a not fun time with this chapter, so yeah. Anomalous Materials will have to be S tier. I know there's not a lot of gameplay in it. None, really. But the amount of world building that gets done and the scientists conversing and stuff, and especially playing this in 1998, which I didn't, I wasn't born yet, but oh god, yeah, this is a classic. This will have to be S tier. Unforeseen Consequences is also pretty goated. I like it more in Black Mesa. It's a remake, it's a pretty unfair comparison, but I like what Black Mesa did with it in terms of gameplay. In this one, it's kind of just crowbar whacking, which is also fine. It's gonna be A tier, but yeah, in front of the intro, but yeah, not in front of Surface Tension. Office Complex, I like Office Complex. Yeah, it's S tier, no question about it. S tier. Office Complex is really fun, like the minor mix of puzzles in it and stuff, and the combat, the early combat. Yeah, I like it. We've Got Hostiles is pretty goated. I think it's S tier. It might be the highest S tier. I also like the fact that you can skip this chapter, which is pretty good, in case you're doing like a quick playthrough and you don't want this chapter. But who would skip it? I also did sometimes, but it's a pretty fun one. I'm gonna put it behind Anomalous Materials, because we have to include the fact that in Anomalous Materials you can just Impulse 101 your way through, which is like one of the most fun activities in all of Half-Life. Blast Pit. I didn't like Blast Pit. And that's harsh, but the whole running back and forth, like once you've done it once, it isn't that fun anymore. But for a first playthrough, it's pretty good. Like especially the rewarding feeling you get after you defeat the tentacles. Top of B tier. Power Up. I think it's fine. Again, on the playthrough, it isn't as fun. I kind of find the whole area confusing. It's gonna be B tier, below Questionable Ethics. On a Rail is tough. It's not a fun chapter. It just isn't. You get lost a lot in it, and I think I like what Black Mesa did with it. It kind of made me forget how awful this chapter is in Half-Life 1. It's one of the main reasons I don't play Half-Life 1 that much. You can skip it through control commands, but the naming convention of Half-Life 1 maps is still confusing to me to this day, so I can't navigate that well in the Half-Life 1 mapping name convention. Yeah, so On a Rail, it will have to be D tier, below Lambda Core even. Or is it? Lambda Core stretches on for so long. On a Rail does as well, but I dislike both of them equally. If Lambda Core is what I think it is, and I'm pretty sure it is. Apprehension. What happens in Apprehension again? Is it the one where you get knocked out? Think so, right? I'm looking at the image right now. What happens is apprehension. Oh god. This is kind of pushing my Half-Life 1 knowledge to the limits. You may notice I'm a bit more of a Half-Life 2 guy myself. Apprehension. Okay, yeah, I just watched a bit of a playthrough. Okay, apprehension is the one where you meet the, what's it called again? The Ichi-Yamine, and you get knocked out later on. Yeah, I think that one's fine. I don't like the Ichi-Yamine bit, but otherwise, it might be above power-up. It's also a pretty short chapter as a whole. Residue processing. That's the one with the factories in it. I kind of like that one. It's right after apprehension, is it? I think so. Yeah, I like it. But I don't have any problems with it. I think it might be bottom of A, which I think makes for the final list. Do I have to adjust anything? We've got Hostile Office Complex. Residue processing is really good, actually. It's above the intro. Is it above unforeseen consequences? Yes, I think so. I really like residue processing. Might be an unpopular opinion. I like the PS2 style platformers in it, where you have to run across the conveyor belts and have to dodge the stomping machinery, whatever it may be used for in this facility, but it reminds me of Crash Bandicoot, one of my favorite games as a child. It might be above Surface Tension simply because I don't remember that much of Surface Tension outside of the damn bit. Blast Pit is fine. I think Blast Pit is a bit too high still. It's a below Forget About Freeman. Questionable ethics, yeah. Apprehension, yeah. Power-ups, fine. Gonar, clear. Healant. The Healant in it of itself as a monster is pretty cool. I know the entire chapter revolves around it, and that's the only reason it isn't in D tier, because I like the Nihilant itself. Also, how it's, in hindsight, it's supposed to be a creature that was driven away from its homeworld, and you can see the Combine technology on it, which obviously, that's a retcon thing. It was added in hindsight. Well, not added in hindsight, but the lore to it was added in hindsight. Pretty cleverly so. Zen is fine. Lambda Core, yeah. Okay, yeah, that's a fine list. Let me know what adjustments you'd make. If there's any cancelable opinion in this, go watch the main channel video, and all the other videos on this channel as well. Join the Discord, whatever. And yeah, otherwise, thank you for watching.